On Tell the Truth Monday, Pete Carroll breaks down the Seahawks' 33-13 win over the Houston Texans. What's going on? Jackie Montgomery with your Seahawks Daily. Happy Victory Monday. The team's big 20-point win over the Houston Texans marks Seattle's first back-to-back victories of the season. The offense put up a season-high 453 yards of total offense, and so we start things off there and the growth that Pete Carroll has seen from this offense in the past few weeks.
I don't think we've played better than we played this yesterday, in terms of the mix and all of that. Russell was a 115 yesterday, his rating for the day. The way we were able to mix, everybody benefited from that. And the balance of the attack and the execution on third down made everybody better. I thought Russ played as well as he's played all year. And he didn't have to carry the load and throw it 40 times to get that done. He was very, very effective and very resourceful with his movement and working with the line of scrimmage and the pass protection. So he found the spaces to make the big plays, which I think is vintage Russell. And I can't tell you, Art, that it's going to carry over next week. We're right on the same course and all, but we would like to be. And I think that was a really clear illustration of how I visualize us to look, and I've been telling you guys, we've been that a lot over the years. It hasn't been as obvious this year, and so I think Rashad had a lot to do with it. The guys up front obviously played well, but I thought Rashad's explosiveness in the offense really added to the whole thing that really balanced out the mixture of run and pass.
The Seahawks run attack also put up a season high with 193 yards on the ground. A big part of that was due to running back Rashad Penny, who had the best performance of his career, recording 137 yards on 16 carries. Both numbers set career highs. It was the most rushing yards in a regular season game by a Seahawks running back since November 2015. With so many positives to take away from Penny's performance Sunday, Pete Carroll said it was his aggressive running style that impressed him the most.
It was my favorite part of his game. It wasn't the big runs. Those were beautiful plays and all that, but it was the 2 or 3 times when he saw the situation and attacked it. And he's a big, fast kid. He's 230, and with his speed and quickness, it makes him a more difficult guy to deal with. And I thought he got behind his pads well. Honestly, I would tell you, I think that Adrian had an influence on him, and I don't know if he said something, I guess, about that, but I just think that he took a new step forward, and I'm really excited for him, and really excited for us to have that, and that was one game. Got to go do it again and all that, but that makes him very difficult. He's shown signs of that kind of play at times, but not the consistency we saw yesterday, and so I know he's pumped up about it.
Carroll added that after that performance, Penny deserves the right to be the primary back in the upcoming weeks. The team will continue to rotate guys to keep fresh legs. Speaking of rotation, Coach Carroll discussed the defensive line rotation and the stout run defense we've seen over the last few weeks. The defense allowed a season-low 63 rushing yards by the Texans, and it all started with the big guys up front in Poona Ford, Brian Monet, and Al Woods.
Yeah, those guys have played really well. We're huge in there, and Al, if you keep seeing Al just keeps making plays, he's doing great. He's having the best year of his career, I would think. Monet, 340-something pounds. Those two guys are monsters in there, and Poona's got great leverage and is a great technique player. So it really, I think it all stems from the play from those 3 guys, our ability to play the run, and it's why you've seen Bobby and Brooksy make so many tackles this year. The line of scrimmage has been controlled well, and those guys are both cashing in on it. So it takes everybody. It takes the whole group to do it, but there's no doubt that it's really centered around those guys starting the line of scrimmage and controlling it.
Unfortunately, Coach Carroll said that Monet did suffer a sprained knee in the game. He did not give a timetable for when he will be back. Sunday marked the first game of the year without All-Pro safety Jamal Adams. Coach Carroll assessed the play of Ryan Neal, who was the next man up. Neal finished with 7 tackles on the day, a season high.
Ryan played really well. He did really well. He picked his spots on opportunities to be aggressive. He's very sound in all of his play. He played really well, and that's no surprise. He's done everything he's done well. So we're really obviously fortunate that he could do that.
A couple other numbers to note from the game. Tyler Lockett's 142 receiving yards on the day puts him over the 1,000-yard mark for the year with 4 games left. Lockett is just the second Seahawks player, along with Hall of Famer Steve Largent, to post 3 straight 1,000 receiving yard seasons. Another number to note, the win is Pete Carroll's 150th regular season win, which ranks him 21st in NFL history.